She snapped. "I'm not your therapist. Deal with your own problems." When I tried to discuss our issues, I said, "You're right." The actual therapist she found me with later made me realize the biggest problem was our relationship. I, 31 male, have been with Rochelle, 29, for 3 years, living together for the last year and a half. Last month, I tried to have a conversation about some issues that had been bothering me. Nothing major, I thought, just communication stuff, division of chores, feeling like she dismissed my work stress. We were having dinner and I said, "Hey, can we talk about a few things that have been on my mind?" She slammed her fork down. "Oh my God, Kevin, not this again." "What now?" Me. "I just feel like when I try to talk about work stress, you kind of brush it off. And I'm not your therapist. Deal with your own problems. I have my own stress, you know? Not everything is about you and your feelings." Me. "I'm not asking you to be my therapist. I'm asking my girlfriend to listen when..." "No, I'm so sick of men expecting women to be their emotional dumping ground. Get a therapist if you need to whine about your life. I'm done with this conversation." She left the table, went to our bedroom, and slammed the door. I sat there with my half-eaten pasta, thinking, you know what? She was right about one thing. Maybe I did need a therapist. Not for the reasons she thought, but still. You're right. I said it to the closed door. Don't think she heard me. Didn't matter. The next day, I made an appointment with Dr. Miranda Qley. Found her through my insurance, good reviews, specialized in relationship dynamics and personal growth. First available appointment was the following Tuesday at 6 p.m. Didn't mention it to Rochelle. She said to deal with my own problems, so I was. That first session was illuminating. Dr. Qley asked me to describe our relationship dynamic. I started talking, and things I hadn't really connected before started forming a pattern. She gets upset when I bring up any concerns, I told her. Says I'm being needy or dramatic. But when she has issues, I'm expected to drop everything. Dr. Qley took notes, asked careful questions. How often would you say you're able to express your needs in the relationship? I thought about it, really thought about it. Almost never, I guess. It always turns into me apologizing for bringing it up. And how does that make you feel? Like I'm walking on eggshells, like my feelings don't matter. We talked for the full hour, set up weekly appointments, Tuesdays at 6. I left feeling, not better exactly, but clearer. Like I'd been looking at everything through a foggy window and someone had started wiping it clean. Update 1. Been seeing Dr. Qley for 3 weeks now. The fog keeps clearing, and I'm not loving what I'm seeing. We've identified patterns. Rochelle dismisses my concerns but expects immediate attention to hers. I apologize constantly, even for things that aren't my fault. She uses anger to shut down conversations she doesn't want to have. I've been accepting treatment I wouldn't tolerate from a friend, let alone a partner. Yesterday's session was about boundaries. Dr. Qley asked me what boundaries I had in the relationship. I don't know. I guess none? Let's work on identifying some healthy boundaries you might want to establish. We made a list. Basic stuff like being able to express feelings without being yelled at, having concerns heard and validated, expecting equal emotional support. I went home feeling empowered. Rochelle was on the couch watching reality TV. Hey, I said, I'd like to talk about dividing the household chores more evenly. She paused the TV, already looking annoyed. Seriously? I just got home from work? So did I. But I've been doing all the cooking, cleaning, and laundry for months. Because you're better at it, and you work from home 2 days a week. Working from home doesn't mean I have extra time for chores. I'm setting a boundary here. We need to split things evenly. She laughed, actually laughed. Setting a boundary? What self-help book did you read? This is ridiculous. But I held firm, made a chore chart. She huffed and puffed, but eventually agreed to take on her half. Small victory, but Dr. Qley said to celebrate the small victories. Tuesday came around again. Left work, headed to therapy. The session was intense. We were discussing emotional manipulation tactics. I was describing Rochelle's reaction to the chore chart when the door burst open. Rochelle stood there, face red, breathing hard. Are you kidding me right now? Dr. Qley, professional as ever. I'm sorry, but this is a private session. You need to leave. Rochelle ignored her, laser-focused on me. I knew something was up. You've been acting weird, using therapy speak, setting boundaries. So I followed you. Me? You followed me? Don't change the subject. You're in therapy? Talking about me to a stranger? This is betrayal, Kevin. Pure betrayal. Dr. Qley stood up. Ma'am, I need you to leave immediately or I'll have to call security. Rochelle pointed at her. Did he tell you he's a liar? That he's dramatic? That he expects me to baby him through every little problem? Me, Rochelle, you told me to get a therapist. You literally said, not to talk about me, to deal with your issues, your work stress and whatever. This is emotional cheating. Dr. Qley had already pressed something under her desk. 2 security guards appeared. Ma'am, you need to come with us. Rochelle looked between us, face twisted with rage. This isn't over, Kevin. You want to air our dirty laundry to some quack? Fine. See how you like it when everyone knows what kind of person you really are. Security escorted her out. I sat there shaking. Dr. Qley sat back down, remarkably calm. Well, she said gently, that was quite illuminating. How are you feeling? I don't know, violated, scared, angry. All valid feelings. What just happened was a significant boundary violation. Following you, bursting in here, making threats. Kevin, this behavior is concerning. We spent the rest of the session, what was left of it, discussing immediate safety planning. Dr. Qley helped me recognize that Rochelle's reaction was far from normal. A partner who cared about my well-being would be glad I was getting help, not furious about it. Update 2. The crazy ramped up exactly as Dr. Qley predicted. First, Rochelle went full victim mode at home. When I got back that night, she was crying on the couch. Big, dramatic sobs. How could you? She wailed. 3 years together and you're telling some stranger I'm a terrible girlfriend? Me, I never said you were terrible. I'm working on my own issues like you told me to. By making me look like a monster. What else did you tell her about our sex life, my family, my period moods? We mostly talked about communication patterns and communication patterns? That's therapy speak for my girlfriend is a bitch? She demanded I stop seeing Dr. Qley immediately. Said it was her or the therapist. I told her I needed time to think. She threw a plate at the wall. Time to think? About whether you want to be with me? 3 years and you need time to think? I slept on the couch that night. Well, slept is generous. Mostly lay there thinking about everything Dr. Qley and I had discussed about escalation patterns. The next day, Rochelle acted like nothing happened. Made breakfast, humming, kissing my cheek. The broken plate was cleaned up, no mention of the ultimatum. Classic cycle, according to my therapy notes. But Thursday, things got weird. Got home from work to find Rochelle in the living room with her best friend Denise and her sister Camilla. They were all staring at me when I walked in. Intervention time, Rochelle announced. I actually laughed. Couldn't help it. Intervention for what? Your therapy addiction is hurting Rochelle. My therapy addiction? I've been going for 3 weeks. 3 weeks of poisoning your mind against her. She showed us the texts. What texts? I hadn't texted anyone about, she'd gone through my phone, found my appointment reminders from Dr. Qley's office. You're going twice a week now? No, one was a rescheduled appointment. Not that it's any of your business. Not her business? She's your girlfriend. Me? Who told me to get therapy, which I did. Now you're mad I'm actually going? Rochelle started crying again. I meant like, 1 session, to deal with your work stress, not weekly sessions talking about our relationship. Real men don't need therapy anyway. Man up and stop being so sensitive. That's when something clicked. Really clicked. I looked at these 3 women, sitting in my living room, telling me I was wrong for taking care of my mental health, and felt nothing. No guilt, no shame, just tired. Me, you all need to leave, now. Excuse me? Me, this is my apartment. My name on the lease. I want you all out. Now. Denise snorted. He's kicking us out. See what therapy does? Makes them selfish. But I grabbed my phone, started recording. Me, I'm asking you all to leave my apartment. If you don't, I'll call the police for trespassing. That got them moving. Rochelle was screaming about how I'd regret this and choose wisely as they left. Camilla called me pathetic. Denise said Rochelle deserved better. Maybe she did, but so did I. Spent the weekend at a hotel, needed space to think. Dr. Qley had given me her crisis line number, said to call if things escalated. Didn't feel like a crisis exactly, just clarity. Monday morning, went back to the apartment early while Rochelle was at work, started packing her things. Took photos of everything for documentation. She'd been living there rent-free for a year and a half. Another thing Dr. Qley helped me recognize as a red flag: she always had money for shopping, but never for bills. Texted her, "Your belongings are packed. You have 72 hours to arrange pickup. After that, they go to storage at your expense." Phone immediately exploded. Calls, texts, voicemails. Didn't answer. Instead, I called a locksmith and had the locks changed. Legal in my state since she's not on the lease and doesn't receive mail there. The extinction burp, no wait, that's not right. The escalation was swift. She showed up that night, pounding on the door. "Kevin, this is illegal. You can't just kick me out. I have rights." I spoke through the door. "You're not a tenant. You don't pay rent. You don't receive mail here. You have no rights to this apartment." "I'll call the police." "Please do. I have documentation of everything." She did. Cops came. I showed them the lease, my name only, bank statements, no rent payments from her, and explained she was a guest who was no longer welcome. They told her it was a civil matter and to collect her things and leave. The look on her face when the cops took my side? Priceless. Final update. The aftermath was instructive. Rochelle collected her things the next day, brought her whole squad, Denise, Camilla, and her mom Patricia. They tried to take my TV, she watched it more, my coffee maker, she picked it out, and even my couch, it matches her aesthetic better. I had receipts for everything. My purchases, my credit card. They left with just her belongings, muttering about small dick energy and fragile masculinity. But here's where it gets interesting. Remember how Rochelle was so paranoid about what I was telling my therapist? Turns out that was projection. Because 2 days after she moved out, I started getting messages from mutual friends. "Hey man, Rochelle told us about your mental breakdown. Here if you need to talk. Heard you're struggling with reality. Maybe take a break from social media?" She was telling everyone I'd had a psychotic break. That therapy had made me delusional, paranoid, abusive, that she'd left me for her own safety. The old me would have fought back, tried to correct the narrative. But Dr. Qley and I had actually discussed this possibility. Controlling people often can't handle losing control, she'd said. They'll rewrite history to make themselves the victim. So I didn't engage, didn't defend myself, just quietly unfriended anyone who believed her without asking for my side. My real friends reached out directly. Got the actual story. The fair weather ones? Let them go. But Rochelle couldn't handle being ignored. The messages escalated. "You can't just throw away 3 years. I made you who you are. No one will ever love you like I did. Your therapist is manipulating you. You'll be alone forever." Then the kicker. Got a call from Dr. Qley's office. Someone had left a scathing review on every platform, claiming Dr. Qley was a homewrecker who destroyed a beautiful relationship and manipulated vulnerable men for profit. Yeah, Rochelle thought she could get my therapist's license revoked because I took her advice and got therapy. Dr. Qley handled it like the professional she is. Reported the false reviews, documented the harassment. Turned out Rochelle had also called the office multiple times demanding my session notes, claiming she had a right to know what lies were being spread about her. HIPAA exists for a reason, Rochelle. The last straw came when she showed up at my workplace. Full hysterics in the lobby, demanding to speak to me, telling anyone who'd listen that I was mentally unstable and she was worried about me. Security escorted her out. HR called me in. I explained the situation, showed them the documentation I'd been keeping. They were surprisingly supportive, even offered me their employee assistance program resources. Filed for a restraining order that afternoon, granted temporarily based on the workplace incident, following me to therapy and documented harassment. Court date set for next month. But here's the thing, I'm okay. Better than okay, actually. In therapy yesterday, Dr. Qley asked how I was feeling about everything. Free, I said, like I can breathe for the first time in years. We talked about how Rochelle's mask had slipped completely. The woman who said I was too needy for wanting basic emotional support had absolutely lost it when I stopped needing her at all. The person who called me dramatic threw public tantrums when she didn't get her way. She showed you exactly who she was, Dr. Qley noted. Someone who sees relationships as power dynamics, not partnerships. Living alone again is amazing. My apartment is clean and stays clean. I cook what I want, when I want. No more walking on eggshells, no more apologizing for existing. I can have feelings without being told I'm too sensitive. Started dating myself, basically. Therapy Tuesday evenings, gym Wednesday mornings, hiking Saturdays. Reconnected with friends I distanced myself from because Rochelle didn't like them. Turns out they'd been worried about me for a while, but didn't know how to bring it up. My buddy James put it best. Dude, you're like a different person. You smile now. Like, actually smile. Last week, got a text from an unknown number. This is Rochelle's mom. She's in a bad place. You destroyed her. The least you can do is talk to her. Deleted it. Not my circus, not my monkeys. The restraining order hearing is next week. I've got a folder full of evidence, a supportive therapist, and zero regrets. Rochelle wanted me to deal with my own problems. Turns out, she was the biggest problem, and I dealt with it. To anyone reading this who's being told they're too sensitive or too needy for wanting basic respect and emotional support in a relationship, you're not. You deserve a partner, not a dictator. And if they tell you to get therapy, take them up on it. Just be prepared for them to lose their minds when you actually start valuing yourself. Best $50 copays I've ever spent. Edit, since several people asked, yes, the restraining order was granted. Rochelle didn't even show up to contest it. Her mom came instead, tried to plead her case, but the judge wasn't interested in secondhand testimony. 2-year order of protection. She can't contact me directly or indirectly, can't come to my home or workplace. It's been 6 months now. Life is peaceful. Still in therapy, still growing. Actually started dating someone new recently, someone who thinks it's great that I prioritize my mental health. Imagine that.